Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we have the Lenovo Yoga Pro 9i to unbox. I'm super excited to take a look at this laptop because it is one of Lenovo's hybrid laptops that's made for creators, but also packs the power of an RTX 4050 graphics card, which will allow you to play some games and basically just be an overall powerhouse for your needs. Now, before we begin unboxing, I do want to note that Lenovo did send this over to me for review. But rest assured, no money exchanged hands, and they are not seeing this video before anyone else. So today you're gonna get my true first impressions and unbiased opinion. So now let's get started in the unboxing. Flip it this way. So you can see it says Lenovo Yoga. Okay, we did get some paperwork, just general information, but we'll put that to the side. Okay, first off, this does feel a little hefty, but in a good way. It feels durable. It is an all aluminum chassis, so definitely feels like a premium laptop. And you can see it is pretty lightweight. So overall, it's a thin power book. Nice, I like it. Very impressionable. Okay, then you can see here, it says yoga, and then also some Lenovo branding there. And we'll open up the power adapter. So with this laptop, we are getting a 170 watt power brick. I don't know if that'll show there, but it does say 170 watts here. And we do have Lenovo's proprietary connector. So we did see this connector on the Legion 7i that I unboxed a few months ago. Now we can take a look at the ports. So on this side, of course, we have the power button, 2 USB-A ports, a full SD card slot, which I love to see. And then we have the e-shutter, which will turn off your camera, basically. And then on the other side, we have our DC in for our power cable, and HDMI 2.1, a USB-C 3.2, and then a Thunderbolt 4, and then an audio combo jack. So definitely some nice ports on this laptop. I love having the USB-A cable and of course USB-C. I wish we had 2 Thunderbolt instead of just 1, but I'm thankful to at least have 1. And I would have preferred at least 1 USB-A and 1 USB-C on each side to kind of give a little bit more flexibility. But again, I'm still happy that we have those connectors because I think that's very important, especially in like a hybrid creator type laptops or professional laptops. So definitely love to see it. Now for this particular unit that Lenovo sent over, we do have an NVIDIA RTX 4050, but this laptop can be configured up to a 4070 if you need something more powerful. We are also getting 32 gigs of RAM soldered onto this particular unit. Best Buy carries both a 4050 and 4060, so I'll link those down below. Those two for sure have 32 gigs of soldered RAM, which it's downside that it's soldered, but 32 gigs, I feel like for most people, it's going to be enough. And I don't remember the speeds off the top of my head, but from what I remember, they were pretty good. Usually when you have RAM that is soldered into the motherboard, you are getting those higher speeds and it's just gonna be a little bit more seamless and more powerful versus it being non-soldered. So it's kind of a benefit. I mean, I personally would prefer to be able to upgrade that, but again, 32 gigs is probably more than enough for most people. So that is nice to see that at least the 32 gigs. And this unit is It's 4.41 pounds, if I'm not mistaken. Not too heavy. I would say, I don't know how much a MacBook Pro 16-inch weighs, but I would say it kind of feels similar to that. Probably not more than that though. But let's get this turned on. Okay, got some packaging here. Put that to the side. Okay, so we do have a pretty decent sized trackpad. So it's not going to be a haptic trackpad, but overall feels sturdy so far with it not even being turned on. Let's get this powered on. Okay, so I'm going to download some programs onto the laptop so we can kind of test some things and see how capable this laptop is. So I will be right back. Okay, so first off, I want to say that this is an IPS panel, but it looks gorgeous. This laptop does come in 2 versions. You can choose from either a mini LED or an IPS panel. Again, this looks gorgeous, so I'm sure that mini LED is looking great as well. I am definitely an OLED girly for sure, but I do think so far this does look nice. For what it is, I think, you know, right now, like the blacks do look black, like you get your deep contrast and things like that. So that is just nice to see. I mean, again, this is just kind of me looking at it for the first time, but I am kind of surprised that this is an IPS panel. I feel like I'm gonna have to fact check that because I'm not 100% confident that that's what this is right now, but that is what it said when they sent it to me, so we'll go with that for now. So again, with this having a 4050, if you're gearing it towards more creator style type work, I did download Davinci Resolve and I moved over one of my previous videos on here just to kind of see what are the render times we're looking at. So for this particular video, if it pulls up, it is a 4K video. It was my iPad review, and I don't know if you can see here, but we exported the resolution in Ultra HD, and I think we exported about an 11 to 12 minute video. So that completed in 10 minutes and 28 seconds, which is actually pretty good. I will mention that the laptop was plugged in when I quickly rendered this, so of course, when you have a Windows laptop plugged in, you're gonna get your best performance out of the laptop versus it not being plugged in. So keep that in mind, but that is what we were getting with exporting that video. And honestly, I'm pretty impressed. The fans did kick on a little bit. You know, you are rendering an Ultra HD, so even, you know, with the 4050, you should be able to render your videos, do some 4K video editing and things like that. And if you bump up to the 4060, then of course that's going to give you a little bit extra juice. But overall, I thought that was pretty impressive. Again, this is my only video that I've exported. Pretty impressed so far. Okay, so I am just going to plug this in just so we can get the most power out of it, close out of that. But as you can see here, we do have a backlit keyboard, which is pretty standard nowadays, but just kind of show you that you can kind of filter through each cycle. I'm just gonna leave it on auto, but that looks nice. And of course, with it being a Lenovo laptop, the keys feel great. I love Lenovo keyboards. I feel like the majority of people do love Lenovo keyboards, but I would say that they're probably my favorite. And the key travel here is good. If I were a student or just a business professional that's writing like a lot of papers or emails, whatever the case is, even scripting, I would be pretty happy with this keyboard. Then of course we have your numpad here. It is a little crammed. I think that's going to take a little getting used to. I personally like having the numpad. I know some people would rather get away with it, have everything centered, but it's just gonna be a personal preference. I like it. You know, it is again a little crammed, but it's gonna take some getting used to. Because that numpad, we do have our trackpad kind of pushed to the left side a little bit, so it's not centered. Not a big deal for me, but I know that that can be a nuisance for some. I feel like that's pretty common when you do have a number pad. Manufacturers just want it to be centered with the actual keyboard itself, not taking under consideration the numpad. But that's what we have here. But since we do have that 4050 in here, of course, I'm gonna play some Call of Duty for y'all. If you watched my last video on the Legion 7i, I was playing mouse and keyboard. I am not gonna do that this time. I am going to be connecting my Xbox controller. So don't worry, you don't have to worry about me trying to struggle through that. But as I mentioned last time, let's go ahead and take a look at the performance of the laptop and not necessarily the performance of my gameplay. That's what's important. Okay, and just showing the NVIDIA control panel real quick. So we do have Advanced Optimus. So once I started COD, it did switch over to the dedicated graphics card, so the GPU only. And then for the resolution, I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but we do have 165 Hertz. This is going to be the refresh rate you get on both panels, whether you get the IPS or the mini LED. So whichever one you get, you're not going to be sacrificing on the refresh rate, which is nice. I love to see a hybrid non-gaming laptop that goes up to 165 Hertz. So we'll close out of that. So I'm turning off some lights. We can see the screen a little better. I'm just going to be recording this screen so you can see how great it actually looks. I think it looks really nice, plus my OBS isn't working, so this is just what we're gonna do. Be able to see what that display looks like. Let me see what my settings are on. Normally, let's go ahead and play at balanced for right now. That's normally what I play at. So I like to optimize FPS and just make sure I'm getting an overall good experience while making sure it looks great. Okay, side note, hopefully you can hear me, but these speakers, it's actually pretty loud. They sound pretty good. I'm actually pretty impressed on that too. I don't really hold a lot of value in, wait, what is this, Team Deathmatch? Yeah, I don't really hold a lot of value in the speakers on laptops other than MacBooks. I find that they're not really that great, but these sound pretty loud considering. Okay, so right now we're getting about like 82 frames per second. It's pretty decent. And again, this is a RTX 4050. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, it's kind of hard to play with a camera in front of me, but I'm doing my best, guys, okay? Doing this for you. I hope you can hear me. I feel like these speakers are so loud. I bet y'all probably don't even care about hearing me anyway. So I guess that's okay. Okay, it's pairing pretty well. I haven't noticed like any stutters or anything. So far, gameplay's pretty smooth. We love to see it. I'm pretty impressed for a 4050. I've never actually played on a 4050 before, so this is my first experience. And for it not being like an actual dedicated gaming laptop, this is pretty impressive. And I mean, in my opinion, this is me being unbiased here. Trying to be as unbiased as possible. Again, this is just first takes. Oh. Okay, how about that screen though? I think that looks really good. I'm not gonna lie, at first I was like, oh, an IPS panel? Whatever. I didn't really have high hopes. I don't know why. I'm just being a hater, but it actually looks pretty nice. Like this, mind you, this laptop will be going back to Lenovo, but if someone gave me this laptop and was like, oh, you can keep it, or if I just bought it for myself, I wouldn't be disappointed. At least not so far. Again, first impressions, first impressions. But yeah, this is playing pretty nice. Again, we're on balanced. Right now, we're getting about 87 frames per second, jumping up to the 90s. GPU and CPU, about high 70s, low 80s for the temperature. But GPU, we're maxing out at 99%. So it is putting in work. Whoa. It's really hard for me to try to look over my camera, but here we are. I'm just chasing this guy. First rule of COD is to not chase, but here I am. Okay, those fans are kicking. I don't know if you can hear that. The fans are kicking. I mean, it's not abnormal. It's not a bad thing. That's what's to be expected. Okay, so yeah, our temps are GPU set 75 Celsius, running at 98%. FPS, I'd say hanging around the low 80s, high 70s. Hitting the 90s every now and then, but steady high 70s, we'll say that. Not too shabby. Yay! Ooh, my KD ratio is not the best, but whatever. Okay, so let's take a look. So we were on balanced. We can play on ultra. Okay, so for this 4050, we do have 6 gigabytes of VRAM. I believe on the 4060, you will have 8 gigs, which is pretty standard. So, for example, if you wanted to do extreme, we don't have enough VRAM in order to run that at extreme. Now, personally, I'd probably never run this game at extreme. I just like to get it balanced to maximize performance as well as get good FPS. If you wanted to run it at ultra, you definitely could. It has enough VRAM, but I guess if you wanted to run this game at extreme and you wanted this laptop, I would recommend going for your 4060 variant. It's going to have 8 gigabytes of VRAM versus the 6 on the 4050. So, something to note there. I'm not going to change it and play, but what I will do is go back to balance. So we're back to balance. I'm going to unplug the laptop. I don't know how that's going to perform. Not saying I don't have high hopes, but we will see. Again, with Windows-based laptops, when plugged in, you are going to be able to maximize that performance of the actual GPU and everything like that when you have it plugged in. When you're unplugged, you're just not getting as much wattage to the GPU, so a little less performance based there. So we'll go ahead and see what that's looking like. And I didn't mention this earlier, so we can toggle through performance modes. I believe there are 3. So that one's like the battery saver, this one's performance, and this is like an auto balanced kind of thing. I was on the auto balanced. I'm going to leave it on that. Again, me personally, I'm probably going to play on that mode most often. Well, I mean, I would like to ideally. So let's just see how that performs. Again, we're unbalanced, we are unplugged, and we are on your auto performance. So let's see what we're looking like with our performance here on this 4050. Again, I'm going to reiterate, it is so hard to see in front of my computer, or my in front of my camera, but here we are. Okay, so we're getting, I would say low 70s, high 60s for FPS, which is pretty decent. Our temps dropped significantly. I don't know if just because we just started the game, so they'll probably go back up. We're looking at 58 Celsius on the GPU, operating at 98%. So again, we are unplugged here. So far, so good. I don't see any stutters or anything like that. Oh, okay, sitting mid to high 60s for the FPS. Pretty good. Still running smooth. Pretty surprised. I will say, I don't know what the battery life is like on this, obviously, since, we're just doing an unboxing. From what I heard, it is not that great. So, TBD on that. Is there somebody there? But overall, for it not being like a dedicated gaming laptop, this is actually running pretty smoothly. I think this would be great for students. Battery life aside, we don't know yet, but I think this would be great for students, especially who, want a more focused laptop for schoolwork, but then it can also game on the side without having to worry about having a very gamer looking like laptop. Although I do think like a lot of the gaming laptops coming out right now kind of look like regular hybrid notebooks. That's just me. But overall, this is not a flashy laptop. It looks very professional. So even just in a professional setting, if you are buying this as like a business or anything like that, being able to have a sleek looking laptop while able to game on it, that is pretty unheard of and pretty clutch if you ask me. Like for me, for example, I am not a crazy gamer. Obviously, I'm a creator. Um, obviously, I'm a creator, so I want something that's powerful enough to be my video editing machine and just things like that. And just obviously be able to do regular laptop things. But being able to have just a regular laptop and then being able to game on it on the side as well, that's just nice. Now, again, battery life may be similar to a gaming laptop, so you're getting a less gaming looking laptop, but maybe in like a gaming package. I don't know, but it is a hybrid. Like if you wanted a specific gaming laptop, then Lenovo has their Legion line. So those laptops are nice. I really love that Legion 7i that I unboxed. I did end up returning it, not for any reason for like the laptop being bad or anything. It's just wasn't the best tool for me. I would buy it again in a heartbeat though. Okay, so FPS, again, we're still sitting at high 60s, low 70s. Still pretty decent. Again, when we were plugged in, we were getting low 80s. So about 10, give or take 10 FPS decrease with unplugging the laptop. Uh, GPU temps is pretty low. We're looking at 58 Celsius. I believe when we were plugged in, getting all that power, we were, what, high 70s? Low 80s, I think, which is pretty warm, but also pretty common. I wouldn't say that's like anything abnormal. So this is definitely running a lot cooler. I will say it's probably due to that Ultra Core 9. Those have been, from my understanding, very efficient as far as like cooling is concerned. You're packing a lot of power in a processor that's able just to kind of handle everything it throws at it while maintaining cool under pressure. So that's cool. Oh no. All right. What do y'all think? What do you think of this performance? Again, laptop performance, not my performance, although I don't think I'm doing too bad. I'm okay. I'm not a gamer girl. I'm just here. I think it's playing pretty well. I am pretty impressed. I did not know what to expect coming into this. They were like, oh, we're going to send you the 4050. And I was like, no, not the 4050. But honestly, this is pretty impressive. I'm not going to lie. I will put the link to this laptop down in the description if you want to check it out. Again, Best Buy does have the 4050 and 4060 available if you just want more information on it. So, and again, if you want a 47, if you want a 4070, you can configure that on Lenovo's website. I'm going to be honest, whenever you, anywhere, not just Lenovo, if you are like creating your own laptop, like building it, it's going to be a lot more expensive than if you were to just buy a model that big box stores have, like Best Buy and stuff like that. Um, I don't know for sure, but I feel like they probably get a discount, the manufacturer, by, sending so many units to Best Buy. So typically you get the better deals by going to the big box stores than having to, you can like build the same laptop on Lenovo's website that Best Buy has, and you're just going to find it cheaper at Best Buy. So, okay, so anyway, that is going to conclude this gaming portion of this laptop. Again, we have the Lenovo Yoga Pro 9i. I can't believe I'm gaming on a non-Lenovo Legion, but here we are. I am pretty impressed. I'm really liking, first impressions, this looks like a very solid laptop. Very professional, very profesh. I would definitely like to take this, to like a coffee shop and things like that. It's definitely not going to be flashy. You don't have any RGB lighting or anything like that. So if that's something you're into, definitely go the Legion route. But if you are a creator, a student, just a professional that's wanting or needing a powerful laptop, this one seems to fit the bill, especially with that 4050. Oh, and I forgot to mention, when looking at everything, both of the 4050 and the 4060 are powered at 100 watts. So for a hybrid computer, that's actually pretty good. I think previous hybrid, just in general, not necessarily in Lenovo, but when you're looking at hybrids that have a dedicated GPU, you're looking at about 60 to 70 watts of power. They do typically cut it down, so that's where a gaming laptop was beneficial. But I do think that this kind of fits the bill a little bit better by giving you that 100 watts. Now, having a gaming laptop, you're still going to have a higher wattage. Like, for example, that Legion 7i that I unboxed a few months ago, that was a 4070, so definitely higher than the 4050. but I believe that was clocked at 130 watts. So you're definitely gonna get more, but 100 watts is pretty powerful. Like, to get a 4050 and a hybrid at 100 watts, I think that's pretty good. And again, this is my own opinion. Not being paid for this video. This laptop will be going back. Pretty impressed. Pretty impressed. Probably won't be impressed with the battery life, but I can't speak on that for right now because I haven't had it long enough. But let me know down in the comments what you thought about the gameplay, any questions, concerns, anything you would like to see me test. Again, I will be sending this back to Lenovo, but while I have it, I'm more than happy to answer your questions and kind of go through the paces and kind of see what this laptop is all about. But if you made it this far, thank you for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button for more content like this. Stay tech savvy, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.